Week 1 of fall camp in the books for Nebraska. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com. We caught up with head coach Matt Rule to get a recap just on how this opening week of fall camp went for the Huskers.
I'm pleased with the first week. I mean, it's been a real challenge in terms of what we've asked them to do. We've taken a ton of reps, ending with like now the new rules now you can only have 2 scrimmages in preseason where you tackle over 50% of the time. So we ended with like a simulated scrimmage with some tackling, but not nearly 50%. So really pleased. I think we're getting a lot of reps, and the guys are working really hard. I'm really pleased with our toughness. Really pleased with our mindset.
And like any fall camp, you're going to have some bumps and bruises and injuries, and unfortunately Nebraska suffered one on the offensive line with Teddy Prohaska.
Yeah, Teddy got banged up again, so Teddy's out for a little while right now. Nothing long term, but he's banged up, unfortunately. He'll be right. We think he'll be ready for the first game. So we're working Turner, we're working Gunner, we're working all those guys on the O-line, and then we're going to get Teddy back as soon as possible.
Another position that's notable to talk about right now is safety. Miles Farmer went in the portal. Marquise Buford's out with injury, still recovering. So what does that safety position look like? I think one of the big movers this August and offseason has been Isaac Gifford.
I think the safeties are one of our strengths. Isaac Gifford's, I mean, he's an alpha back there right now. He's had an amazing summer. The jump that I've seen Giff make, his mentality. You don't really realize until we did timing day how athletic he is. He's a 35-inch vertical, 10.5 broad, 4.5 guy. I mean, he's a multi-year probably NFL player, in terms of his talent. And his mindset's come a long way with it in terms of just taking control back there. Deshaun Singleton's playing really well. Omar Brown. We got a lot of guys back there, and I'm really pleased with the young guys, the young people we've brought in. So I think we have a lot of players who can play. We have a lot of flexibility. Tommy Hill's probably the turnaround guy from the time I got here till now. He's become one of the leaders, I think, on the defense. And so we have between Newsome, him, and Hartzog, we have some guys that can play multiple positions as well. So I like our strength in the secondary. I think we're going to be really good.
Rule also gave his early assessment on the defensive line.
So, on the D-line, injuries usually set, you start saying, hey, it'll be this guy, and then it becomes someone else because of injuries. I thought Brody was poised to have a breakout year, and then he got banged up, right? So I think the thing is Ty Robinson, obviously is an established player. Blaze is a guy that, I think has played a lot of football. That's going to have his best days are ahead. Nash is a kind of a guy we trust, but some guys have really come on. Sam, like Ruquan Buckley. I mean, it's just a testament to don't see people for what they are, see them for what they could be, and then trust your strength staff. Like Corey and his strength staff, Kristen, and our nutrition staff have done an amazing job this summer. Our lateral movement and our movement skills are significantly improved from where they were. Like at the end of spring, things I was concerned about was one of them. And Ruquan has made a huge jump. So we got a lot of really good young players, that are going to come on, I think we'll end up having like 6, 7, 8 guys that can play for us on the D line, and some other young players, like the Lenharts and the Prince Wills, they're ready to play. Some of the other guys that just showed up, the Van Poppels, the Vincent Carrolls, we're just going to get those guys ready. So if it's early in the season, great. If it's late, great. So I think we have a lot of depth, but to your point, they're all sort of unproven. That's why we practice the way we practice. I mean, we're getting between 150 and 190 reps every practice. So no one's standing around. We're all moving, and guys are getting better quickly.
In the 2023 recruiting class, Nebraska brought in 7 different scholarship wide receivers. That's definitely a position group where you could see a few of those guys play, but there's also a couple of walk-ons that are in the mix, including Omaha Creighton Prep native Alex Bullock.
Well, they're really fast. All right, our young guys are unbelievably fast. There's a lot of volume in our offense. There's a lot to learn, so they're learning that pretty quickly, right? I need to learn all this stuff. But they're a tough group. They're physical. Really proud of a lot of them today. They're out there battling through. It's hot. We've been in the mornings. It hasn't been real hot, and all of a sudden today it was hot. We don't practice inside. We practice outside. So they're learning to adjust to this. I think a couple of those guys, might help us. They're going to push to help us. We have some older established guys who played a lot of football, like Marcus and Billy and Fleeks and all those guys. But we're going to count on some of those young players. I think the key in our receiver room right now is there's a couple guys like Ty Hahn and Alex Bullock who are, and some other guys that are really, really good football players, really dependable. Like I challenge Alex all the time. Like, he's not a walk-on. He's a guy that just came here as a walk-on. He's a starting receiver, I believe. So the young players, they're fast, they're explosive, they're dynamic. We're going to have an unbelievable receiving core. And with those guys at some point, it's just how fast they can learn this and handle the bumps and bruises of camp. They're trending in the right direction, though.
Sunday will be Nebraska's first off day in fall camp. They're still going to be in the dorms, but there will be some opportunities for guys to leave campus.
You're allowed like 2 hours with them, so we'll meet in the morning. We'll encourage them to our team does a great job of recovering and regenerating. So like Mitch will make sure that there's massage and chiro and all that stuff available, ice tubs, cold tubs. So we'll have a bunch of recovery stuff. Obviously they can leave if they want to go to church. Yeah, they can leave. They will give them their car keys back. And so if they want to go to church or they want to go out, go to the mall, they want to go to a movie, they can do all those things. We just, they'll have to be at breakfast. They have to be at meetings. They have to be at, they'll take lunch with them or get it on the way out, and then they have to be back for dinner and curfew. So, when you're in the NFL, they'll have a day off, and, it'll be a full day off, but they can go out. So everything we try to do is just getting them ready for the next level. So they can do those things. They can, they can do whatever they want. Just have to be back in time and be ready to go on Monday. And then coaches will work in the morning, and then I always encourage the coaches, I don't have my family here yet. I don't even have a house yet, so I'm going to stay in the dorms. I might go see Oppenheimer. I heard that's good. So, but other than that, coaches will work. The coaches have been grinding. They're here late every night, so it's always good for them to see their families because it's another week. And week 1's down, week 2 comes up, so I want to make sure we hit it running.
And finally, a lot of talk about conference expansion with the addition of Washington and Oregon in the Big Ten. Rule weighed in on just what that means for Nebraska in the big picture.
Yeah, I really have no thoughts, honestly. Obviously I trust the leadership. I trust the Big Ten, Tony Petitti. Trev is awesome, right? He's so communicative and all those things. So I'm kind of in my own little bubble right now, So I'm still worried just about our team, making sure that I think the key for all teams right now is as realignment happens in the coming years. I mean, who knows what the future is going to hold? Making sure that my job is to make sure that University of Nebraska is relevant nationally, and so I just have a lot of trust in the Big Ten and the leadership, and I think it's the dominant conference in college football, and so. We'll play wherever they tell us to play.
Huskers will take the field again for their 7th fall camp practice on Monday with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln. I'm Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com.